Thank you for joining the talk of startup visa holders today. I'm Akiko from Fukuoka City Global Startup Center. Today I'm a moderator. Here we are at the Global Startup Center. I'm with Yoshi and Mumu. Before starting the program, I'd like to ask you to mute your microphone and turn off the video during the event. And let me briefly introduce today's the program. Let me share my screen. We start with the introduction of us, Global Startup Center, and the Startup Visa. And we welcome today's three panelists, Stefan, Leroy, and Shari. So let's get started with our introduction. The Fukuoka City Global Startup Center is run by the Fukuoka City government, and we are the contact vendor and executive unit for the foreign startups and entrepreneurs. Our motto is a part of your team. Once you contact us, we are your first team member in Japan. We work with you, we execute projects together. Even more, we sometimes do tasks on behalf of you. Fukuoka City has 15 partner institutions in 11 countries. We signed MOU to provide mutual support for startups in regions. So these are the services we provide. Our services are very wide range and available at any stage of your business. I will explain about startup visa later. So just let me explain about our business matching here. What I would like to emphasize in our business matching is we have strong connections with not only startups, but also big companies. Moreover, we have good relationships with the local government and public organizations as well. So we can arrange very specific business matchings, not only introducing each other. And these business matching services are available for any startups. That means even if you're not based in Fukuoka or without having a company here in Japan, moreover, without coming to Japan, we are happy to offer our networks for you to find your potential partners. So generally speaking, when you live in Japan doing business, you need to have a business manager visa. And there are some requirements. For example, you need to establish a company with more than 5 million yen of investment capital and secure an office for company. However, it's very difficult to fulfill the requirement from outside of Japan. Startup visa is a 6 months to 1 year residence permit to settle down to prepare such condition and to make sure whether the Fukuoka is the right place to start your business before you invest. Startup visa will be issued once Fukuoka City approves your business plan and innovative business and confirm that you are capable to implement the plan to fulfill the requirement of the business manager visa within the period of startup visa. After the startup visa expires, most of the entrepreneurs convert them to business manager visa. So this is the application procedures. Global Startup Center is a contact window for the startup visa application. At first, we check your business plan together. In case you are not sure how to fill it out, don't worry, just send us the tentative one and we look into the plan and we help you to brush it up. We call NVIP for the business plan. So we also check your financial statement with the bank balance in your country to confirm that you're capable to implement the project with your own capital. Some people are looking for investment when they apply for the startup visa. However, it's almost miracle to get investment in such a short period. So we cannot accept such a kind of business plan, which depending on the investment and loans at the very beginning of the project. So once all the required documents are ready, we submit them to the city government, and you get the result in 2 to 4 weeks. After you approved, you need to obtain COE, Certificate of Eligibility, and all these procedures we of course support. And it will take about a month to get the COE. With the COE, some other documents the city government provides, you need to go to an embassy to get a visa in your country. Anyway, in the meantime, the new entry of the foreign nationals are limited, so we cannot mention how long it will take to get a visa when to be able to enter in Japan. But we believe it will be very soon that government will lift the restriction for the new entries. So let me briefly explain the general procedure and an ideal schedule to getting the business manager visa within 6 months. The first month, you need to get registered as a resident in Fukuoka City. So you need to make your own seal called hanko in Japanese and register your address and your hanko at the ward office. And you need to open your private bank account. Global Startup Center contact your bank in advance to make an appointment, and we accompany with you if you wish, and you're able to open it without any problem. Once you get your bank account, you can register your company with your private bank account. So we connect you to English-speaking incorporation lawyer timely. After your company is established, we arrange an appointment with the bank to open your corporate bank account. It's being said it's getting more and more difficult to open a corporate bank account, even for the Japanese business owners. However, thanks to our good relationship with the banks, we haven't had any problem of opening the corporate bank account of the startup visa holders. Then you can start to operate the visa renewal in the 5th month. If you need any support to brush up your business plan, we are happy to help you before submitting it to the immigration. We have the meeting every month while you have the startup visa. So if you have any problem, just let us know. We are always here for you to support you and solve those problems together. So now we'd like to share some questions to Global Startup Center. So Yoshi will answer for us.
Yep.
So the first question we get is, can we apply for the startup visa online? Yeah, because of the COVID situation, they cannot come to Global Startup Center. So.
Okay, so the answer is yes. So you can apply for the startup visa online. So regardless of the COVID-19, anyone can apply for the startup visa online. So yep. So if you have if you have the great idea and if you want to try your business in Japan, please feel free to contact us. Yes.
Okay, the second one, do we have to hire 2 or more Japanese citizens for the startup?
The answer is no. So you really do not have to hire the 2 or more employees, but you have to, at least you have to invest more than 5 million yen to implement your business. So this is the most important point. But please do not misunderstand. So 5 million is not not the minimum requirement. So it depends on the business. So anyways, you don't need to hire the 2 employees.
Okay, thank you. So the third question, can we register a company with a co-working space?
Yep. The answer is yes. You can use the co-working spaces as your company, the address. But there's one note that at longest, you can use that address for 1 year and a half years. So this is a maximum because the Fukuoka City expect you to your business to grow the quickly. So anyway, you can use the co-working space for 1.5 years.
So after the 1.5 years, you need to rent the office anyway, right?
Yes, you have to rent your private office.
Okay, so the last question to the Global Startup Center is, what is eligible business for the startup visa?
Okay, this is a very, it's important for the startup applicants. The most important point is the new value, and also the contribution to the Fukuoka cities and the Japan economies. And then because the startups, we are looking for the startups which has a potential to grow quickly. So the idea is that they should have they should use the high tech like AI and the whatever the advanced IT technologies. Yes.
Innovative business.
Yeah, innovative business is the most
That's
important.
the key for the startup visa in
Yes.
Fukuoka. Yep. So we have some more questions, but we need to move on the next program. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to let us know. Then we can answer via email later. So now we would like to introduce the panelists today. I'll be happy to welcome today's guest speakers, Stefanson, Leroy, and Charison. Hello, all. Are you here? Are you here with us?
Yes.
Hello.
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 Please. Okay. I'll just turn off. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so would you please introduce yourself and your business? So maybe you can start with Stefanson.
Okay, I have a little PowerPoint ready.
Oh,
Can I
okay.
share my screen and?
So you can share it now.
Okay. So everyone here, okay? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my name is Stephen, and I recently this year in June received the startup visa, and I'll share a bit about my experience and a little bit about my background. So first, why I came.
Stephen, your screen is like black out. It's black. I cannot see your presentation.
Oh, you can't see the screen?
No.
Let me try that one more time. Is it okay now? No?
No.
I'll just talk then. Okay, I'll just talk about it. Okay. So first, why I came to Japan, I guess, well, it's just really simple. My wife and I really like Japan when we did some travel here. And also I was running a business in Hong Kong, so I wanted to expand the business and try something new. And then a few years ago, so I started kind of researching, preparing how to start a business here and just kind of looking into different information and everything. Eventually, I came to Japan, well, came to Fukuoka as a student, actually, because, well, my thought was that I couldn't speak Japanese when I came last year. I came in 2020. And without Japanese abilities, it's still possible to start a business here. But I figured if I want to live in Japan, it would be better to know Japanese. So and then there's also in Japan there are these 1-year student visa for specifically language school students. So, and I figured that would be a good stepping stone for me to well, learn the language and also just kind of come to Fukuoka and just kind of, well, get adjusted to life here, get adjusted to Japan before I have to start the business. So I started the 1-year Japanese language school program in July of 2020, and I graduated in June this year, 2021. And then earlier this year, I applied for the startup visa, and I started applying in March, and I got approved in June, and I was able to convert directly from my student visa to the startup visa, actually, without going back home to Hong Kong, which I was very thankful about because, well, with the COVID and everything, it was just kind of impossible for me to go back and then come back here. So that was great that Japan have this system of student to startup visa conversion. And also the startup center staff, well, very helpful and supportive. So I was very thankful about that too. And a little fun fact is that I'm apparently the first person to convert from a student visa to startup visa in Japan. And there are actually a couple of newspapers that did an interview with me. So that was kind of a little fun side note. Okay, so my current business, so what I'm doing right now, my current business idea actually came from my language study. And most people study languages for years, but still cannot speak the language, right? And myself included, I studied a few years of Japanese on my own, but I couldn't speak even after I was studying. And since attending Japanese language school, I've realized that, well, knowledge doesn't really transfer to speaking ability. And I have a new kind of a vision to provide more effective ways for learners, language learners, to be able to achieve conversational skills than traditional classrooms and textbook could provide. And mainly right now, I'm looking to focus on English speakers who want to learn Japanese, and also Japanese speakers who want to learn English. And my plan is, first, I'll create some online videos and also online courses. These courses and videos will help language learners to learn, first of all, how to learn more effectively, especially if they want to improve their conversational skills, and also build up the foundation and get a lot of practices. And then I also have plans to develop applications, maybe mobile apps, online platform, and that hopefully could facilitate communication and interaction between natives of target languages. So like, for example, English speakers can connect with Japanese if they want to practice their Japanese. And of course, Japanese can connect with English speakers to practice their English. So that's my business plan at the moment. And I'm just getting started, so still working on it. And that's about it. Yeah. So if anyone have any questions for me, please, yeah, let me know.
Okay, so let's move to Leroy and Shalisan. Would you start your introduction and your business here?
Hello, everyone. My name is Leroy, and this is my wife, Shirley.
Hello.
We are also from Hong Kong. And hi, Stephen. How are you? So it's just a quick introduction of what we do now and how we came here, I suppose. We came to Fukuoka 2 years ago. Last year in February, we landed here like almost right before every country in the world shut down travel. So we were kind of lucky to have to have arrived in this wonderful place before it shut down. So it was good. Okay, my business, I have done many different jobs in the past with big corporations in different parts of the world. My last work was I started a company that makes mobile apps for sports events, mostly in Hong Kong and Taiwan. So basically things like when you have a competition, we do an app for sports athlete registration, and then identity of these athletes, and then sports event management and the results announcement and all that. So my original plan when I submitted to the government for my startup visa was to use the same app and try to sell it in Japan as well. And at the same time, we were developing another app. Now we call it non-social media. So you all know what the social media is, right? Where you have a group of people, you will be chatting and a lot of aisatsu and a lot of things to say. But very often, if it is an important group, like an organizing committee or something, or a project team, sometimes there is just too much chatting. So I have an app that is called GroupTiff that would allow more serious group to communicate better in an app that looks like a social media app, but it is without a social element. So that is my current project. And I'm also starting to build a B2B application, mainly targeting Japanese companies that have overseas operations. For example, the factory in China, trading company in Hong Kong or Germany or in Singapore. So because my previous background was ERP, enterprise computing, which is almost like very serious accounting, production management stuff. So together with a partner in Hong Kong, we already have the product. We're trying to localize it to make it also suitable to sell to Japanese company, that they can manage their transactions, their production and transaction that involves more than one country, so that the operations manager, they can look at one screen and see if I want to make 5,000 watches of this particular specification. So I have to place order in China and the factory is in Vietnam, the trading company is in Hong Kong. I want a dashboard to show the manager that everything is in place and which stage it is, almost like a project management tool. So that is the project that we will start this year. I mean, end of this year, hopefully next year, by the end of next year, hopefully we can launch it. And one more thing we have done just by accident is this year, beginning of this year, we have started a YouTube channel, basically introducing the good things in Fukuoka, good food and good living and the sightseeing places. And primarily this is in Cantonese language, which is basically targeting Hong Kong people and Cantonese speakers, meaning South Chinese people all over the world. So far we have like 10,000 subscribers and it's going quite well. And it brings in all kinds of business opportunities as well. And another interesting project I'm doing now is I have a client in Tokyo, a Japanese company. They have been importing stuff from China with a big manufacturer. Recently, they have some trouble with the manufacturer in China. So they hired me as an advisor to help them solve the problem. So now the problem is resolved and they continue to hire me to help them to communicate with the Chinese factory, because I speak Chinese, Japanese, and English. So I can help them to further improve the product for Japanese market. So I'm acting like a consultant for these cross-border situations. So basically that's what we are doing. And my wife, my beautiful wife here, she's helping a lot with the channel and a lot of other stuff, a lot of work. You want to talk about it? Or is it enough? I think it's enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we got many questions, and the first one, and there are many people asking that what made you choose Fukuoka? What was the biggest reason for choosing Fukuoka? For example, in Japan we have like Osaka, Tokyo, like big cities, but why did you choose Fukuoka? That's the first question.
Steven, you go.
I go first. All right. Yeah. So I think so I was doing a lot of research. First, I just really want to come to Japan, and I haven't really made up my mind where, which city. And I've heard that there is a startup center place in Fukuoka, and I've heard the support there is excellent, and also the startup visa Fukuoka is one of the first place or the first place to have this startup visa support, which is as Akiko-san explained already, which is great because you don't have to rent the office and start your company before coming. So the startup center is really one of the main reasons I wanted to come to Fukuoka. And then other reasons, I guess, is I wanted to go to a place that's less crowded than Hong Kong, and Tokyo is really crowded. So it's I want to go to some place not not that crowded, but then I still want to be in a place that's got everything, shopping malls and good food and all that kind of thing. And Fukuoka just seems like a really good balance. And well, I've been really enjoying Fukuoka for these 2 years I've been here. So, and lastly, it's a very convenient location, especially, well, with us coming from Hong Kong, Fukuoka is very close to Hong Kong as compared to other cities like Osaka or Tokyo. And also the airport is very close to city. The Fukuoka airport is close to city center. Everything is just really close together. And I really enjoy that kind of convenience. Yeah, so I think those are the reasons I chose Fukuoka over other cities in Japan. Yeah.
Thank you. How about Leroy and Sherry? Oh, how about Sherry?
So we're a bit different because we came here as a family and we have a
yeah.
So this is good for anyone with a young family. I basically I've never been to Fukuoka until we decided to come here, and we spent a day in Ohorikoen, which we loved. And then I spent a day in Tenjin Chukagai shopping. And I saw there was all these nice shops like Aimaru, Iwataya, and then I thought it's just like Hong Kong. It's just like it's got all the nice shops, and then really it's Fukuoka City is so close to the airport. It was really great to be able to take a taxi to most places downtown.
Oh, one more thing to add on top of what Stephen has said and Shirley has said. For me, I like outdoor sports. Fukuoka is very, very good in terms of that. If you like the mountains, it's like 20 minutes drive, you're in the mountain. If you like the beach or the sea or going on a boat, it's 20 minutes drive, or taxi or subway. It's excellent. I mean, when I lived in Tokyo before. Going to a beach on a Sunday is like 2 hours drive, which is completely different. So Fukuoka is really good. It's not so big, but it's got everything within 20 minutes, 30 minutes drive. It's perfect. Yeah,
I just came back from Tokyo. I just spent a few days there. And I just want to say I'm very glad I'm living in Fukuoka. It's a lot of, you have to do a lot of walking in Tokyo, especially with us in the subway stations. And, yeah,
Fukuoka is like a very compact city, right?
Yes. And you guys are not as loud as the people in Osaka.
Oh, they're very nice too.
They're lovely, but it was just different. Yes.
Different. I'm glad you guys like Fukuoka.
I hope you're not from Osaka. Okay. Or any of you.
Thank you. Okay, so for the next question, what was the most challenging thing you faced since you arrived in Japan or arrived in Fukuoka?
I guess I'll go first again.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I guess one of the things, well, unlike Leroy, who have lived in Japan before, so Japan for me is really new. I have not lived in Japan before last year. And so one thing is kind of learning the Japanese way of things. So for example, like you have to make an incan, like a little seal thing. And I'm like, what is this seal thing? And there's like different kind of incans and all that kind of things. And then like throwing out the trash, you have like rules of like how to throw the trash. And then driving, you have a lot of like different driving rules, and getting a license, converting the license here, have to take a test, and I have to learn a lot of all these kind of rules kind of thing. Just everyday life, I guess, like is, and I think this is not unique to Japan. Just moving to a foreign country is difficult for anyone, and there are a lot of new things. So Japan, of course, have their own unique different kind of things. So getting used to that kind of things. And then the other thing I think is understanding kind of the visa system. at first I was just really confused. Like, so there's the business manager visa, and then there's the startup visa. I wasn't sure what the differences were. And then of course, there are a lot of people who have kind of gotten these kind of visas before, who give you a lot of different information. And I later found out a lot of information from these experts aren't really, let's just say, not completely accurate. So and thankfully, the startup center support is actually very great. The whole process was relatively smooth. I mean, it's not an easy thing, definitely, getting a visa, but with the support and the help, it was not as hard as I thought it was. But yeah, visa is, again, that's true probably for any country. Getting a visa is not an easy thing. Definitely talk to the startup center, talk to the staff. They're very friendly and helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen, you know why all the process is so complicated? Because Japan has 120 million populations. Everybody needs a job. That's why we love the complexity.
Right.
All right, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Your turn, Sherry.
You
No, don't let me start. If I start, I won't stop.
You start first.
No, please, you go.
Well, I had a relatively smooth ride because Leroy, my spouse here, Leroy speaks Japanese, so I'm just here to enjoy life. And no, I think Fukuoka, honestly, comparing to say Tokyo or Osaka, people, you really have to. People here don't know much English, and compared to those two cities, you really have to make an effort to be able to learn the language. I think the language is the main thing. Even, there are times I have to do things myself, like, going out and, just day-to-day living. So I think it's really important to, if you want to come to Fukuoka, then you should be prepared to learn the language. That's what I would say.
Yeah, language. It's important.
If I may just say one thing, maybe two things. First thing, the in-can thing needs to be gone. I know the Japanese government is trying to get rid of the in-can, but I don't think it is possible within our lifetime. The second thing is for all people who are listening that are foreigners, and also I noticed that there is someone from the city government. If he is listening, I really suggest that, because all of us foreigners, we do not have a Japanese name, right? Like Yamaguchi name in Japanese. So naturally, we have our name in our Chinese language, Vietnamese language, and naturally in our passport, we have our name in Romaji, in the English letters. But very strangely, in Japan, let's say if you buy a house, if you want to register ownership of your house, you cannot register your name as an owner in the English language. So the only way you can register that you are an owner of a mansion or a flat or a house is you enter your registration using, the only thing is possible is katakana in the case of Japanese, assuming you do not have a kanji name, okay? So the complication is that's fine, okay, because I don't expect, if I go to buy a house in America, I can register my name in my Chinese characters, right? So I will register in my Romaji English letter. It's totally fine. But in Japan, okay, I'm okay to register my name as an owner of this flat in katakana. But in all the identification document issued by the Japanese government, for example, the resident card, my katakana name is not written on there. On my driver's license, I only have my English character written on my driver's license. So there is no way to match my identity. It's impossible. I don't understand why. This is completely beyond me, okay? So if the city government people here listening here, maybe they can make a suggestion to the shiakusho or the new kan. On the residence card, they should also put our katakana name on the residence card. And also our driver's license, not just my English character name, but also my katakana. Otherwise, there's no way to prove that I am actually that person with that katakana name. Very strange to me. So this is only one thing. I think it's really, really important, because from here, we go on to every website that require filling in the names. First, you have to figure out how to type Zenkaku in English.
Oh.
I still have no idea how to type Y-U-E in Zenkaku. No idea. And sometimes you're not allowed to write in the form. Like today, we were trying to book an airline flight. So you have to write a kanji. Okay, if you do not have a kanji, you cannot actually complete the form. So that is thousands of programmers who have a mentality of 30 years ago with the JIS and Shift JIS system, not willing to change to Unicode. But anyway, don't let me start, I said.
You just mentioned in Fukuoka City, people are very kind, particularly the Fukuoka City government people. I think they will solve the problem before the Christmas. It will be Christmas present for you.
Thank you very much. I hope some of them are listening. That will be really helpful for us foreigners living in Japan. Not just
Okay, so the move to the showroom. Leroy said you hire some Japanese, right? So next one is for the employment. So what are some of the challenges you went through hiring local talent?
Sorry,
local talent.
Oh, hiring local talent.
Yeah, hiring people.
I think it's the same everywhere. It's not just in Japan, especially in our industry. In terms of software development, programmers, coding people are very expensive, which is fine. But because we have our developers in Vietnam, so it's fine. But in terms of what we really need is people who have good selling and marketing skills. But the general difficulty is a lot of very good people, because the employment situation is so good for them, especially if they can speak foreign language, then they will probably prefer to go to work for large companies that has good benefits and all that. A tendency is they do not really like to work for small companies like us. So that is the main challenge, but it is the same in every big city you go to anyway. So it really, for anyone who is going to come here, please expect to spend some time and really go out to network and socialize and to really sell yourself as an entrepreneur. That some young people who are smart, maybe you need to persuade them why they should work for you instead of for some big Sony or SoftBank companies or Google, or Google is coming to Fukuoka.
Maybe, right?
The rumor. It's not official.
They would know.
No, they cannot say. They cannot say.
It
is confidential.
This is recorded, yeah.
So that is the challenge. But my approach has been, even in Hong Kong, I have the same situation. So I approached a university. Well, actually, I approached several universities to try to recruit and hire students, third-year student, with the intention that they work for me now as an intern, and then when they graduate, maybe I will hire some of them. So that was what I've been doing. But also because of filling in forms with some big university, you have to fill out some forms, which I was not able to because I do not have a kanji name. So I ended up trying to call some of the schools. I only able to talk to one school, one university, which is very good. I can recommend you to try to contact the Beppu University, the APU, not Beppu University. APU University in Beppu, they are very, very good. I actually have hired 4 students to work for my company for several months, and it has been really good experience. So just call them up or email them, and they perhaps can help you find some intermediate help, at least talents. And then hopefully some of them will have a good match with your culture, with your company, and hopefully they can become your good employee in the future. So it takes time.
Yeah, I understand.
So, yeah, sorry. You said you hired 4 people from the APU, right?
That's correct.
2 questions. These 4 people are the foreigner or not? Second question, where they are located, in Beppu or in Fukuoka?
Okay, I know that because I talk to them a lot. And the APU, the Asia Pacific University in Beppu, about 50% are foreign students. So 50% are Japanese. So I put up an advertisement through the help of the recruitment center. So the staff there are very friendly. And then a lot of people applied to the job. So I selected 4 students, 1 Japanese, one from the US, one from India, and one from Indonesia. So 4 different nationalities. Obviously, the Japanese guy, he speaks perfect Japanese. And then the rest, all 3 of them, they speak reasonable Japanese because they are required to pass N2. So they are okay, good. So it depends on you, because my thought was I have Japanese, and Indonesia is a huge market. If he works out, it's also an opportunity for me to have bilingual, actually trilingual person to potentially help me with the English market and Japanese market, and potentially also Indonesian market. So APU is a very, very good resource for me, at least. I mean, I'm sure Kyodai and the other good universities as well, but I have not been able to talk to someone in Kyodai for 1 year. Well,
You've been trying for 1 year?
No. I just tried for half an hour and then I give up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you forgot to reply the second question. So they are in Beppu, or they come to Fukuoka?
Oh, they don't. No, they locate in Beppu. The way that we work, even for my Hong Kong staff and Vietnam staff, for the past 5 years, we do not have an office. Everyone works from home, telework.
All right, thanks.
100% telework.
Yep.
I've never met them yet.
Really?
I've been paying them every month. I've never met them.
Maybe it doesn't exist.
No. They do exist. We have online conferences like this all the time.
Maybe you are working for the only 1 people and paying salary for the 4 people. Be careful.
No. We have something like this all the time. So I see that. I can see their faces. I just never have touched them.
Okay. So the next question. Is there something you wish you would have known earlier, like before you come to Japan, or yeah? Is there something you wish you would have known earlier?
Stephen, you say.
All right. Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, Leroy.
So I started doing some research before I came. I actually started researching quite early, maybe 3 years before I came. And I think one of the things I did was worried a lot. And I think if I knew what I know now, I think just don't have to worry so much. I mean, the support at the startup center is really great. The staff is really friendly. And I was really scared approaching and talking to them before I talked to them. But I think just kind of, because like I said, the visa system is complicated, and I just heard a lot of information, and another thing I wish I knew was just taking information from these like immigration expert, like just really have to kind of how do I say it? Take it with a grain of salt, right? So a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions about what are the requirements of the visas. And I've heard things like, for example, oh, you need 5 million yen and hire 2 people. You must hire 2 people. I've heard that so many times. And the Akiko-san already said that it's not true. Yoshi-san already said that, not true at all. And I think just, of course, do the research, but don't trust everything that you see, except, well, of course, from the center, the startup center, everything they say would be true. But what other people say, I don't know where these people get their information from, but there are just a lot of different inaccurate information flowing around out there. So just ask the staff from the center. That's always good.
Stephen, because you know why? Sorry, I'm talking about the startup visa. Okay, so that we know everything about the startup visa. If something is unclear, we will directly call to the immigration office. That's why our answer is always correct.
Exactly. Right.
But because sometimes the people is to try to get some advantages, right? A little bit tricky. That's why there's a lot of mixed information. But here, this organization run by the Fukuoka City, okay? We directly connected to the immigration office. That's why we are right. Whatever Yoshi Akiko says, it is correct.
Mumu-san, I actually talked to you when I talked to you 2 years ago. That was really helpful because like you were telling me how like the information I got was well, a lot of it was just wrong. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. At the time, 80%. Now 100%.
yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Oh, of course. We wish we had known COVID was coming and we couldn't go. So that was a big surprise. Well, seriously, I wish I had known more about schools in Fukuoka, because we get that question a lot from our fans. I've never read anything like information about schools in Fukuoka in English anyway. Have you? Or did you just not give it to me? Anyway, schools, and I wish well, there's some things you can't get in Fukuoka, like there are not many English bookstores in Fukuoka, not as many as say Tokyo. So I wish I'd known that. I would have bought more books.
So you buy it online. I would suggest, I would suggest just to get rid of everything you have and just move here and buy everything from here. Because moving your stuff from overseas into Japan is a huge pain. I contacted, well, actually we have our stuff, a whole house of stuff in Hong Kong, stuck in Hong Kong for 6 months. So we ended up buying everything here because the shipping company says, oh, your visa is only 6 months. We cannot ship if your visa is only 6 months. Okay, another situation is if you come here, if you want to get a SIM card for your mobile phone, if you do it on your first day or first 2 months, it's fine because your visa still has 4 months left. But when your visa has only 3 months left, you cannot buy a SIM card from any of the telephone companies, SoftBank, Docomo, or anywhere. There's some kind of strange rules that says that they will not do business with a foreigner whose resident card is expiring within 3 months because they assume that you will not renew. And they assume that you will get the SIM card and then you will sell it to some criminals. They are stuck with a SIM card with a criminal. And also for banks, they also have that kind of mentality, sorry to say. But that's the reality. So little things like that you have to deal with, but just have set the expectation that maybe everything takes a little bit more time.
But everyone's been really kind.
Yeah. It's just some policies.
Yeah, even at the Shiak show and Kyuak show, I've gone a few times by myself and nice. Yeah.
Okay. About the bank and the SIM card. So maybe when we started to communicate with Leroy-san, that time was our system is not perfect, but at this moment now, we really have the good relationship with the bank, and also we also have some solution about regarding the SIM card. So now the people who want to think about applying for the startup visa, so they don't need to worry about these things. So now we have the solutions. So we can connect with the banks and the carry SIM card. So anyway, no worries.
Thank you so much. That it will help a lot of people reduce some stress.
Yeah, we are now strengthening the banking relationship. We are increasing the number of the banks who can collaborate with us, with the startup with the holders.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so for the next question is for the Steven. How was the procedure of converting your student visa to startup visa? Was it difficult, or did it take a lot of time, or any comment?
Yeah, okay. So the procedure, I'm not sure how different it is from other people that the regular startup visa, but yeah, I mentioned I converted from a student, which is I think a rare case. Well, I was the first in Japan apparently. So I applied for the startup visa in March this year. And then they gave me a form, well, some forms, and then a proposal I have to submit. I submit the proposal, and then there was some revision back and forth. So that took about maybe around a month. And then the next step is once the startup center okayed my proposal, I submitted to the Fukuoka City in April. That was in April, and then after submitting to the city, I think that was also about a month. And then in May, I received the documents back from the government, so it's okay. And then I take those documents and then I go to immigration, applied for what's called a change of visa status. And that's where the part that's really, I was really thankful about. I don't have to go back to Hong Kong. And usually I would have to be at the Hong Kong embassy and with the COE and the procedures. In my case, I didn't need that. I just went to immigration here in Fukuoka and then did the change of visa status. And I think because my case was the first, they were pretty confused. And I submitted, the first time I submitted the form exactly like they told me to do it. And then they told me it was wrong. So I had to go back and then find that exact person in charge, ask him what I'm supposed to fill out in those places, and then resubmitted it. And then, so that whole thing took about a month. And then in June, I officially received I'm not sure if that is the COE or what that is anyway. So I received the thing and I took that thing to the immigration and officially changed my resident card from the student visa to the startup visa, but it says business manager on the resident card. So yeah, the whole thing took about 3 months. And I think before I did the whole thing, I imagined it quite a bit more difficult than it actually was. And yeah, I mean, I've mentioned already, but the support here is really, really good. So yeah, I was very thankful. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience. Okay, so the next question is for Shari and Leroy. So you're talking about the school. So how is the environment of Fukuoka to your kids?
It's wonderful. I think for preschool or before primary school, you can have I mean, my kids became fluent in Japanese in 3 months' time. So this is him. Anyway, and but for a parent, sometimes it's very it's very different for like a mom. I think
no, it's very good.
No, it's not. It's very good, but I need a guide to, like, you know, because we came here in the middle of the school year, so we didn't start with everyone else, and then they said you have to get like these 10 things for your kid, and we had to go and buy them.
No, but it's really good because we're lucky that the Hoikuen, the kindergarten that we go to, it just happened that the wife of the Encho sensei, the principal, she's actually from Taiwan, so she can speak Chinese and English, so she helps a lot. So we actually, for something that we don't know, she would just call us and say, hey, you have to remember this. So it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that from my friends. So at every school there might be like one person that speaks a little bit of English. So if you're lucky, then you can get help that way.
But some parents, they will send the kids to international school, then there's no problem, right? It's all in English.
Yeah, but
we have chosen to go to a local, really local, which is really good.
Yeah, I mean the food looks delicious, and yeah, all the kids seem really happy.
So now your kid is learning Japanese.
Well, he's one of you.
His first language is Japanese now. No, you ask him. His favorite language is Japanese now.
Okay.
He is converted.
Sorry, you said your kid is going to the kindergarten?
Hoikuen.
Hoikuen. But it's a local Hoikuen. But eventually, this Hoikuen has a teacher who speaks Chinese.
No, it's just by chance that
a staff member.
A staff.
One of the well, she's also a teacher. Just by chance, there is the wife of the principal is from Taiwan. Just by chance.
All right. So you're lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah, and we're very lucky. School is great.
Very good. And we are going to a local shogakko, the primary school, local primary school as well. And we already have some parents that saying that it's pretty good. It's very good. So we're happy.
Yeah, and I have other foreigner friends, mommy friends. They've had good experience in Fukuoka from the schools. Even
which part of Fukuoka are you living?
Chuo.
Chuoku. All right. Yeah. So you mean you will recommend for the other people to come to live in the Chuoku?
I would actually, because the more downtown you go, or more parents speak a little bit of English, or they try.
I see.
Yes. Most parents are they're not afraid of English, and that makes it easier for Shirley in the beginning. But now Shirley speaks very good Japanese.
So
Chuoku and maybe Sawara-ku as well. Sawara-ku is Momochiyama. That this area, a lot of parents, they are perhaps more better in English. But if you are Chinese, then maybe in Higashi, in Kashi, then Higashiku, and that area more Chinese people over there. Yeah, so it depends. Yeah,
interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one is not the question, but do you have any suggestions or the tips to those who are thinking to apply for the startup visa, or those who want to move to Fukuoka? Do you have any suggestions?
Anything?
Yeah, Stevie, just say the talk to Akiko. Then fine.
I've said that so many times. Like, I guess I'll repeat it one more time. Yeah, just talk to the staff at the startup center. I mean, they are just really friendly, and their English is very good. I was actually kind of afraid, like, do they speak English? Like, do I have to speak Japanese with them? Like, I can do some basic Japanese now, but like last year I could not speak any Japanese at all. So definitely talk to the staff.
I think all the little things that I talk about in cant and all that is not important. The most important thing is you are coming here to do a startup. It is by definition extremely difficult. So if you actually are determined to come here, you have to have the expectation that even if you fail in the first year, you need to figure out how to continue in the second year, third year. And even if you fail after the second year, third year, it's going to be fine then, because it's a long life and you are talented, you have your resources, you will figure out something to do while in here, you will meet new friends, you have new ideas. For example, my software is not working well in Japan because of Corona and all the cultural issue. So I pivot, and I think about what else I can do. And I try to meet people here, talk to people like Akiko and Mumu-san and Yoshi and Ko, get some ideas and what you can do if the original plan doesn't work out. So set the expectation. Really, it's not easy, but hey, if it is easy, I mean, it's not for you maybe.
Oh, I'll add one thing. Like, I think my experience of just studying the language for a year first before starting the business, I feel like that was a really good decision. And I guess for those who have a little extra time and money, and for those who can't speak Japanese, I would really recommend this kind of path. And yeah, if anyone needs just suggestion on language school, I don't know if the staff could recommend. I could definitely recommend my school. I think my school was really great. They focused on conversation, and I was really able to get from not being able to speak at all, pretty much, to basic conversation in maybe a few months, within a few months. So yeah, everyday life. I mean, I think Leroy or Shirley said, like, in Fukuoka, the English speakers are really not as many as like Tokyo or the other big cities. So like, it's not a requirement to speak Japanese to start a business here, but like, everyday life get really hard without knowing Japanese. And yeah, last year a lot of things were really difficult when I couldn't speak at all, and a lot of things just really got easier as my Japanese skills improved. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a message that what is the name of your language school?
So it's called Genki. I will type it in the, actually, yeah, Genki Japanese and Culture School. Something like that. Yeah, I think it will come up if you Google. Yeah, I chose that school because their main thing is small class and a conversation focused approach. And I before starting, I really knew that like I've studied on my own already, and no matter how much like grammar and knowledge I studied, I just couldn't speak, and it's what I really lacked was the practice. Yeah, so they give you a lot of chance to practice. They keep the class small, and yeah, I really recommend them. Yeah, I think it's a really good school. Yeah.
Yeah, Steven. So you studied at the Genki school. So then they help you to get the student visa for 1 year, right?
Yes. So I contacted them directly. Applied to study there, and the visa is just like they are just really good with taking care of that kind of things. You don't have to worry about the visa at all. Like they just kind of hold your hand, and yeah, I mean they make money from you studying, so like they take care of you.
Because some school cannot do that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. The Genki have the 12-month and 18 months student visa support.
So they are qualified at least.
Yeah, they're qualified. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and that was one of the thing that was really important to me because I wanted the 1 year visa to stay to come here and just kind of get adjusted to life before jumping into the business. Yeah, and I really felt like that was a good path to take. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you have any additional comments, Sherry and Leroy? Is okay?
Yeah, I think Fukuoka is still, compared to Tokyo, Osaka, or Okinawa, there are a lot of opportunities that are still being discovered because people are not as exposed to like the Western world or English-speaking resources. And I think, and in living here, you can, because it's so small, you can basically go anywhere downtown within half an hour. So you can go to Shiakusho, Kyushu, you can go to your embassy, you can go and have a business meeting, or a couple of them, all in 1 day, all those places within half a day. And you can also travel by train within Japan, from Hakata, 2 hours to Osaka, and 7 hours to Tokyo, even 1 hour down to Kagoshima. So it's really convenient. So I strongly suggest people to come and live in Fukuoka.
I think Stephen's way of doing it is really good. Come here as a student first is a really, really good option. I personally do not think language school is a really useful thing, but to get the visa to live here and have some friends is really, really good. I think more importantly, you have to spend a lot of time learning it by yourself, watching Netflix and singing karaoke in Japanese. And when you are here, hang out with Japanese people, drink with them, talk to them. That is the most important.
What if you don't drink? I don't drink.
Then just gossip with them like you do.
Well, one more thing I'd like to add is because we have a child, so naturally we're included in the community, in the parents' community at school. So if you're single, if you don't have kids, it can be more difficult, I guess.
Just do some sports or whatever activities.
I know, but I don't do sports. I'm rubbish at sports.
Just sports, social life. There are some foreigners meetup groups, and there are a lot of Japanese meetup groups that you can join, and then just socialize and practice your Japanese.
Yes, and you should learn how to cycle, because I can't cycle, and in Fukuoka you can cycle. It's very useful. You can cycle around town.
Okay, thank you so much for your participation today because it's already time. So before saying bye, one reminder, we'll send you link of the questionnaire to your registered email address. So please spare a few minutes for us. Your the feedback is very important for improving our online event. So thank you so much for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you again at our next online event. Thank you so much.